hello.
Howdy, howdy.
I'm going to turn you up here. All right. Hello, welcome. We got people already joining us. Oh my. And unfortunately, we have such unfortunate news, man. So, yeah, we'll wait for people. John Clark, welcome. He's number one so far.
Hello, Mr. John Clark. Ashley.
Ashley, welcome. Wow, my numbers just keep rising here. Hello, Heather. My sister Ashley. We got John. I'm pretty sure we have more and more people.
You want to start off with the bad news, or?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's unfortunately, yeah, there's no guest tonight, folks.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Mr. John Jackson Miller has contacted me, and he's had a minor disaster at his house, which is requiring some reconstruction tonight, and so he cannot be on the show. And he wants to reschedule. He was very adamant about that, so I will make sure he comes back on so we can talk to him. I was really excited about having him on the show because, as a fellow author who loves Star Trek, that was gold. But unfortunately, we can't control weird things like that happening. So it's just Brian and myself tonight.
Yeah, so you're stuck with us for at least the next hour.
I can talk about writing and publishing and writing about Star Trek. I've got all those experiences, but he has a very unique take on it because he writes for Star Trek.
That's
a
right.
dream of mine for the past 30 years of my life, but
absolutely, yeah. So we will definitely reschedule with him and hope the best for him on whatever is happening there at his home. Yeah. Yep. Hello to Kayla from California. My sister's in California. She drove from Oklahoma to Texas, from Texas to California.
That is no short drive there.
No, not at all. My Aunt Valerie is here as well. Hello, Aunt Val. I was with her at the Cape just this past week. So, yeah. Oh, no is right. John Clark, it's okay. It's understandable why he couldn't be here. Absolutely. Things happen. This show ain't going anywhere. So, but we also do have more Star Trek related stuff to look forward to. I hope. I'm going to knock on wood. This may be fake wood, but I'm knocking on it that he was going to come on next week. So Jeremy Roberts. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes. Actor Jeremy Roberts.
I'm definitely interested in him coming on next week. And again, we'll get John Jackson Miller on very soon. With the amount of people who were interested in this right now, I want to make sure we do this soon. So we will get this organized and have him on here. I'm hoping, because I'm doing so many events so close together right now, from starting this month going through November, December. I'm hoping he and I cross paths in real life. That's how I met him to begin with. Was we were both doing a book signing at the Michigan Comic-Con 2 years ago, and so I was able to connect with him, talk with him about Star Trek, about writing. I got to talk to his publicist and some other authors that he works with. Really fun people, and so I was really glad to have him on here. But we'll see.
I do hope it's soon, but he should take his time and, again, fix whatever needs to be fixed, unfortunately. So, yeah. My other sister, Samantha, is on here. Woohoo, Callie baby. But still, ditch your Kayla Fallon. Oh, that's not good. You ditched her, Kayla. So, yeah. So, no guest. Oh, boy. I was hoping. But that's all right. How's everyone doing? What has everyone been up to since the last time we spoke to you? I was in the Cape, our last show, Cape Cod, that was. So, having a good old time. So, yeah. And while we talk about other things in between, anyone can, I think people should be asking us questions tonight. So, we should do like, I don't know, 21 questions or something.
You or me?
Both. People have people ask us questions.
By all means.
Yeah. Yep.
I say my exciting news right now is just last night I sent in the my final corrections for the 5th Dragon Wand book. So that should be coming out. And if we have time tonight, I might read the opening of that book because if you've read the Dragon Wand series, it's pretty exciting. But I'm really anxious for this book to come out because it begins the next major adventure. This is book 1 of 3 of the next trilogy. So I'm so excited about that, getting that out there because it's different, definitely different than the first series.
So in all, there will be 7 books.
Correct. There'll be 7 of these, and if I get it done, I've already got it written, but I got to go back and work on it. There is a book I wrote several years ago. It's a prequel to this entire series that is from the perspective of a character you meet in the last trilogy here. And he plays a vital part, but he's also critically connected to the Dragon Wand, to Marcus, to the whole situation. But his story takes place thousands of years before this series. So I wrote his story, and so if I finish that and get it worked out, then there will be an 8th book within that realm, and so that'll bring the total to 8 stories in the Dragon Wand universe.
Diane Pate, welcome. What's up, girl? Haven't seen you in a while. So, well, that's exciting. So, but you've also written Star Trek. I'm a character.
Yep. I was just reading that actually.
Yeah, I forgot all about it there for a while because I've been so focused on talking about Earth's last starship and the next one that's coming out that I forgot your Star Trek fan fiction there. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Brian happens to be a central character in my Star Trek book, and what I call central is not the main character, but he plays a major role. And then I have Brian is the lead character for the Winter Wizard Chronicles, and Captain Brian is the lead character for the Earth's Last Starship. So Brian has shown up a lot in these books, and I've actually thrown him in as a minor cameo in my Bark series. So
yes, I was a radio host, right, or something like that.
Newscaster. You were a newscaster.
Yes. Yep, I did read that. That was pretty cool. Dan, how do you come up with a trilogy? That's fantastic.
There are some people who map out their stories in such a way that they know what the chapters are going to be, how many books they plan on making a series. I don't quite go that direction. I actually write one story, and depending on how long it is, I'll break it into 2 or 3. And I did set for the last Dragon Wand trilogy, I set a goal. I wanted it to reach a certain number of words, and then I would make sure that it can break into 3 books. And so I did that, and I got to those words. And in fact, I got past that number of words, and I broke it into 3 books. And the reason I say that is because in the publishing industry, 40,000 words or more is novel length. Anything less than that is novella, short story, and you can't really do a trilogy off novellas for a novel series. So my goal was at least 40,000 words a book, so it would come out to 120,000 or more words. I got past that mark easily, so there's 3 books. Now, as I said, some people, and I've never done this. I never really have mapped out a book and I know chapter 20 is going to be about this, and chapter 15 is going to be about that. There are people who have it so meticulously planned, they know all that, and that's fine. But there's a lot of people who don't do that, and I'm one of them.
I don't think that I would be able to map anything out. I think that when I dabbled in writing science fiction, I tried. I have the story in my head. I know what's going to happen, but writing it like and piecing it together and by chapter or whatever, like I had no clue. I was just basing it off of what happened in the prior chapter or whatever. I think I got to 2 chapters anyways, but
Yeah, see, that's in the writing community, that is called pantsing. And a lot of people are pantsers. And that's writing by the seat of your pants. That's where that comes from. And two things happen with pure pantsers. And that is most commonly you don't finish a story because you start with a simple idea and watch it grow, but
yeah,
it gets out of control and you just like, okay, I can't, it's way past where I want it to be. I don't know what I'm doing. The characters are all over the place, and you give up. Or you do finish, but it comes across as a rabbit hole. And the story is just kind of going its own direction, and the reader knows it. You're like, okay, you started out here, but you ended up there, but you're back over here, but then you ended up there, and the reader gets confused.
right, yeah,
And that's I don't pure pantser is very difficult to do anything. It comes out really good. There's also plotters, and those are the ones who are very meticulous about their plot line. They have it mapped out, but they have it mapped out to within an inch of its life. And so your characters will do this in that chapter. Your characters are going to do this in this scene. This is how they're going to get there. And those come across those stories usually are finished, but they come across as very rigid, stale, and kind of low on the emotion side. You're reading a story almost like you're reading a recipe. It's the between that works the best. It's where
yeah,
you have some outline, but you let the story follow it to its own within its own world, but then you let it tell its own story. Because
right,
that way you have your mile markers. You know they're going to get from point A to point B, but instead of meticulating every little detail in between, you let them get there however they get there.
mm,
So, and that's how I write. I learned that from Brandon Sanderson. He was talking about that, and that's how he writes. It's how a lot of Timothy Zahn, all this how they write is they have a blend of the two. And I agree. I've come across both those and both extremes, and they both struggle. It's you need to meet in the middle.
right. It's true. John Clark, mainly working. I was writing some on the forum for Heroes Rising, which is an online game through Facebook. Great game. People should play it if you're into that sort of stuff. On a short story. And my Wednesday night, do they call it groups? Is that what it's called? Groups?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Groups game. Okay. I asked what people have been up to. So, Diane, putting all the characters together and keeping them going. I envy that type of writing. I love to write.
Mm-hmm. It's fun. It really is. And for Heroes Rising, I've had a lot of fun writing the story for that because I developed a series of characters that are NPCs as far as the game goes. Nobody is this character. A lot of the characters in the story are players who've created the character that I have put into the story. But the ones that are NPCs drive the story because that way, no matter who is coming and going as players, you always have the same core. And that's fun because I get to use them, I get to be with them, I get to follow them on their adventure, and it's lots of fun.
Didn't I make it into Heroes Rising? Is that the game that I was in or no? Didn't you write something about me? Wasn't I like the professor?
Yes, you were in Heroes Rising.
See?
In Gargoyle's story,
That's right.
Dr. Brian Shepard is a archaeologist who works in Rome. He's from America. He works in Rome by the Vatican as a historian, and he discovers the mystery of the weird statue that turns out to be a living creature called Gargoyle.
Yeah. Yeah. But I died.
Yeah, in this story, but I would say
I had a good death. I did. That was a good scene.
Of all the stuff I've ever written, the Gargoyle story is one I have a hard time reading because the death scene in it, which is a driving force for the main character of Gargoyle, is so emotional and impactful that it destroys me every time I read it. I'm like, I can't do this. But that's part of building the character.
Yeah.
especially the superhero universe. You know,
It's all right. I just remembered that. So yeah. Also, if anyone, like I said, if anyone has any questions for us, blurt them out. We love hearing from you. Um, yeah, don't forget to like and share this video. Also, if you're watching from YouTube, because this is also live on YouTube as well. Hello, YouTube. So yeah, well, I figured I'd get ready. I feel like I was going to talk a lot about Star Trek, so I put myself on the bridge of the Enterprise here behind me. I'm kind of thinking that I don't need it anymore. I'm very sad. Are you planning on writing any more of your Star Trek fan fiction?
actually, I have been. I've been really wanting to jump back in and write a few more stories in that universe and in my little pocket of the universe that I created, and have fun with it. I've got some ideas that are definitely percolating, and I want to get to them. But I've got so many other jobs that I have to do with writing for Heroes Rising. I have one publisher that is working. We're working on advertising and producing an anthology that's coming out this month, the 17th, and that's Into the Unknown, which I'm in as the very first story of that anthology. And my other publisher, that's Ambassador International. My other publisher, Cosby Media Productions, they're the ones doing the Dragon Wand series, and I just turned that book in for them. We are working on a comic book, really a series of comic books, but we have 4 different authors who have written a comic book script, and we're turning it into a company that produces comic books. They do a beautiful job, but it costs a lot.
Right.
And so, since Cosby Media is a small independent publisher, we don't have a lot of funds. So we're working our way through getting this made. But how we're going to do this starts tomorrow. We are having a Kickstarter, and we have set up a whole list of rewards for people who support the Kickstarter. Everything from just a good job award, give us $1, we give you a thumbs up. And you can hire awards there, give you comics and give you autographed books. The highest ones, the big dollar ones, you actually can name a superhero, work with the author, pick out one of the comic series that we're working on, and we'll name a superhero, create them, put them in the comic that's going to come out as a cameo. And on the highest one, you will get a toy made based on your hero.
And how much is this?
I believe that one's like $2,000.
What? Oh, okay. That would be nice. Wow. Okay.
But that's the Kickstarter thing. The money is going to help us produce the comics. You're helping us kickstart a new branch of Cosby Media, which is going to be Star Child Comics. And the reward for being that kind of backer is to get the cameo, get the comics, get the artwork, all that stuff. Plus, you'll get a toy based on your hero that you've created. So, I mean, that's with Kickstarter, and so I'm looking forward to seeing how well we do. I'd love to see this work out, because if it does, then we will have I'll have a comic book put out, which is just freaking awesome.
Yeah, there you go. John Clark, I wouldn't write fan fiction for Star Trek. There is too much lore to go through. It is fun to write fan fiction, though. I've done a few Doctor Who fan fictions. Go ahead.
It's funny because I've thought about writing a fan fiction, a short story, something for Doctor Who, and I have the same feeling. I feel it's such a diverse and complicated universe that I wouldn't try to approach it.
Yeah.
Star Trek seems so much easier, but I guess it's in the mindset. I'm a huge Trekkie, old school Trekkie. I know from original series through Enterprise. I know the episodes, I know the characters, I know the story like the back of my hand. I could tell you everything about it all thoroughly. So writing the story is pretty easy for me. And advice to anybody who wants to do fan fiction for something: there's 2 facts you must remember. The first is that it's your story. If you want to alter their universe to fit your story, fine. You are not beholden to them because it is just fan fiction. You're not publishing it professionally. You're not trying to get within their ranks. You're just publishing fan fiction. But the second thing is, if you do want to stay faithful to the story, to the characters, to the core of the lore, then find a pocket of your universe you want to write in and learn about it enough that you can write in that pocket without having to know everything that happened in every other episode around it, every other book, every other comic book, all that. That's what I did with the 11th Fleet story. I wrote it within a very specific time frame of the Deep Space Nine universe. And I knew that one so well that I was able to write within that universe and that one little area and have it fit. And I mean, I've had people who have written in Star Trek, who work in there, who have read my story and have said this could pass as publishable material in the Star Trek universe because my story fits right in without interrupting any of the main storyline.
Mm.
So you can do that. It's very possible. It just takes dedication to that, right? To knowing you're going to do that and to make sure that every detail you put in, you research to make sure it is appropriate for that universe. You can't add in technology that's too more or less advanced as your story point. You can't, stuff like that. But the first point comes into play. If you don't want to do that kind of work, if you're just going to have fun, you're just having fun, write your own story.
Right. Yeah.
To the wind, write the story, and if it is interrupting the flow of their universe, well, guess what? It's fan fiction. That's all right. You would not believe the amount of fan fiction out there that is so incredibly off the mark of the actual source material that it's not even close to it. It completely destroys it. You ask any Star Trek producer, writer, anybody who's worked for the shows, especially back in the 90s, back in the 80s and 90s, Star Trek had an open door policy for fan fiction. If you wanted to send them a fan script, they would consider it for potentially being written into the actual show. And a few of the episodes of Next Gen, DS9, and Voyager were partially written by fans. And their open door policy allowed them to review it and use it. And I can't remember who it is right now off the top of my head, but there is currently a well-known creator who has done content for Netflix, for HBO, and all that. He started his career doing that for Star Trek. He wrote an episode for Deep Space Nine, and that garnered him enough attention to his ability that he launched a career off of it. But these people, I talked to him back years and years ago. I talked to Lolita Faccio. She was one of the producers for Deep Space Nine. And I asked her, I said, used to do this, do it now? Of course, she said no, but they stopped that back in the late 90s. I was still, middle school, high school, so I didn't write for it then. But I asked her, I said, so did you get a lot of good stuff? She said, we got a few good things. I said, okay, the way you just said that, tell me about what you didn't like. She said there was, for every script that at least garnered a little of our interest, we had at least 100 scripts of this person writing themselves into an episode where Deanna falls in love with them, or Jadzia falls in love with them. It's always some horny guy who wants to write themselves into Star Trek. They're a Star Trek nerd, and they want to jump in bed with the sexiest Star Trek chick they can find. And she said we had piles and piles of these that were just garbage. So they're used to it. They know that people are going to write that. And it doesn't have to be stellar material. Again, it's all what you want to write.
That'd be true. I haven't watched it in a while. I need to start watching it again.
Yes, you do.
I do. Yeah. So besides Star Trek, is anyone watching anything new? Any new shows coming out that people are watching on? Everyone's streaming nowadays. We have every type of service out there. So what are people watching these days? Are you watching anything?
The most I've been watching recently has been the Olympics. I have a family who loves following the Olympics every time it's on. So if I'm around them, it's on one screen or another. So today, before I came to do the show, we were there watching Olympic speed walking.
Oh, fascinating.
Very fascinating for somebody, I'm sure. It was a bunch of guys straddling along, turning left a whole bunch. It was like watching NASCAR, kind of, just slower.
My aunt is wondering if I watch Outpost yet. Yeah, there is a show called The Outpost on the CW, and it's got witches and
Oh yeah,
magic and power and all that stuff. So it was on the TV when I went to visit my aunt's for game night, I believe it was, and it was on the TV there in the condo. So I was getting a little distracted, so I had to turn the TV off. But yeah, it looks very interesting, so I might watch it. So yeah. But no, I have not watched any. So thank you for asking. Yeah. John Clark is waiting for The Witcher season 2. So am I. So am I. Yep. I believe that's on Netflix. Yes, Netflix.
yeah, it's Netflix.
Yep. I'm waiting for. Oh my God, there's so many that you have to wait for now because of the pandemic and everything. You know, I don't think Picard is until next year, right?
Yeah, I think I heard they delayed that till at least spring.
So it's like the Mandalorian. I think is also next year. I think we have to wait until next year for that next season for that to come out. So it's like all the shows that I'm really enjoying and liking, they're like really quick, and then you have to wait like a whole year. So
I did kind of like how on Disney when they introduced the Mandalorian, they did it episodically where they had each week a new episode would drop. I think one of that's something that especially, and I'm going to pull my old man here. I think the younger generation is losing out on is the fact that I grew up with the era of new episode once a week.
yeah, yeah, you had to wait. Yeah,
If you want to binge watch it, you got your VCR out and you recorded them along the way, so you could go back and watch them.
absolutely.
If they had a marathon on TV, oh, that was glorious. But now that's something I don't care for. Actually, is we released season 2. All of season 2 was released today, so you can binge watch it. I'm like, that loses some of the magic. That magic
Right.
of waiting week by week, coming and going, and I think that's also hurt. People are complaining. Oh well, the next season doesn't come out till next year. Well, when I was growing up, you watched the season all through the season from the beginning of August to December, and then the next year, oh, there's season 2. Here it comes, the next season. So
Yeah.
now it's like, well, I can't believe I have to wait so many months. Well, that's actually how TV kind of worked at one point. But I'm just an old fogey about that kind of thing.
It's true. You had to wait. Every week was a new episode. Absolutely. So yeah, especially the two-parters. The cliffhangers. You had to wait till next week. What's going to happen or next season? It's horrible. Let's see. But yeah, I'm totally waiting for The Witcher. Oh yes. Yes, indeed. Anyone else watching anything else? Anybody?
I wish I had more time to watch stuff. I'm between writing and editing. I don't get a lot of time anymore. It seems like.
Well, yeah, I don't get a whole lot of time because of my work schedule myself, but I try to make time, or I'll DVR it, or I can watch it on demand. But these days, you can watch it wherever you are, so you can watch it right on your smartphone. So I guess I could do that too if I really. But my breaks are only 30 minutes. I used to do that. I'd watch something for 30 minutes sitting in my car on my break.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I don't do that. I don't have the time for it anymore. But yeah. Oh, yes. People are watching, but people are not chit-chatting with us. I don't like this. You guys are quiet tonight.
Anybody following the Olympics? What's going on there?
The Titans, I don't know.
Is that the Teen Titans show?
I believe if it's the one on HBO, I have not seen that one. Damien is currently watching it. If that's what he's referring to. I hear it's a good show. I do like the cartoon. So, yes, John says yes. Yes, that is.
I have a feeling the show and the cartoon have a very little in common.
Yeah, I'm going to have to start. He's been watching it, so I'm going to be so far behind. I might as well just start at season whatever, the first episode or whatever. But yeah, I'm very interested to see. I saw the character of Raven.
Mm-hmm.
She looked pretty cool in the TV show, so I think I might. That's my favorite character, so I might have to watch it. So yeah, go Teen Titans! What's the green guy's name? What's his name?
Beast Boy.
What is it? Beast Boy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think he is green. Isn't he green? Yeah, he's green.
If they're faithful to the comic book or to the character, he should be green.
Yeah, I think he is green. Maybe I should watch it. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not interested. But I see him watching it while he's working during the day. And it looks very interesting, so I might watch it. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Beast Boy, Changeling in the new Teen Titans from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. The Teen Titans have been around since the 80s?
Yeah, that sounds about
Really?
right.
I've never heard of them before until I used to see them on Cartoon Network and stuff. So I didn't know they've been around that long. I don't recall watching them as a child. So.
Well, there was a comic book series. It really wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Series, so.
Oh, yeah. I don't really have anything to do with comic books, so I didn't get into comic books. I had them. My mother would buy them for me, but they really didn't do anything for me. So, yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. I'm waiting for a Captain Planet. Do you remember Captain Planet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm waiting for a movie. I want a live-action movie of Captain Planet. I think that would be pretty cool. I miss that show. Yeah. Diane Payne, I started watching The Witcher. Couldn't get into it. Yeah, you got to have a taste for The Witcher. It's got some monsters, but it's, what's his name? Henry Cavill, right? Yeah, Henry Cavill. Diane, it's Henry Cavill. Hello. You should still watch it.
That's an important fact from Brian, apparently.
It is. It's a very important fact. All right. She says, I just started watching Rain on Netflix. Rain, I've seen the whole thing. That is a very good show. And I don't care what people say. That was a show that was on the CW. So it's more of a, for teenagers, young adult show about Queen Mary of Scots.
Oh, yeah.
When she marries, the French guy there. And that whole thing or whatever. So, yeah, the show didn't last very long. They probably could have kept going with that show, but it didn't last. But it was good. It was a very good show. I did like that. So, yeah. Yep. Valerie wants to know, what did you think of the Jungle Cruise? So I was in Cape Cod, as everyone knows, last week. So, and I took Damien took us to the movies. So it's been the first time since I've been to a movie in I don't even know how long. It was nice to finally be able to go into a movie theater without having to wear a mask. Thank God. It was fun. I enjoyed the movie. It's a really good movie. So when it comes out and on Disney Plus, everyone should be watching it.
I haven't seen it. I want to see it. It's on Disney Plus already, but of course it's premium access only. So
Right. Yes.
I don't
Um,
want to go to the theater to see it. It seems like a theater movie to me.
um, yes, it was. It was. It was nice to see that big screen. It was a very good movie. So they also have it in 3D as well, which I didn't know. We didn't do the 3D one. I just did regular, high definition, whatever, 2D or whatever it's called. So yeah. Yep. That's what I thought of that. So nope. They've been around since 1965 in the comics. I was not around in 1965, so it's probably why I don't know. So yeah, yep. My aunt liked the Jungle Cruise, so yeah, yep. Are you waiting for Cruella to come out?
Oh, I have no interest in that one.
No,
It really did not strike a nerve with me at all.
really.
Mm-mm. I'd be more interested in Jungle Cruise than Cruella. It's really just
Okay.
not
Okay.
not my cup of tea. People can enjoy it. It's fine. It's just not for me. I don't think.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is completely different than 101 Dalmatians. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that you would have to kind of be interested in it. So,
It's one of those that I may watch someday. And if I just have time, I'm sitting there wanting to check it out. I may watch it, but it's not something I'm actively like, oh, I'm going to watch this. I'm more interested in the upcoming Dune movie. I am really excited about that.
I know they need to just hurry up.
There have been two Dune movies they've made over the years. The first one in 1980 or 82 with Patrick Stewart playing in it and all. It was terrible because they tried to squeeze that book into a 2-hour movie, and you just can't do that. It's so much. And then the first one was awful. They did a mini series back in the late 90s, early 2000s with Artisan Entertainment did one that was Dune, and it's altogether it's like 7 hours long. But it was miniseries, so it was episodic, and they were able to put a lot more of the story in, but they still trimmed some of the stuff out. And of course, this was made for TV movie by Artisan, so graphics weren't great. It was kind of low budget. So this looks like they really have put time, effort, money, and just thought into making this. And I'm so excited about it.
Mm. I have seen the one with Patrick Stewart in it. I don't know if I've seen the later one. I didn't mind the one with Patrick Stewart in it. Only because I really don't. I don't know how I felt towards it. It's a cool movie. It was totally different. Nothing that I've seen before. When the first time I saw it, I was confused a little bit sometimes. A lot going on, but for the majority, I kind of understood it a little bit. So yeah, I can relate. But I mean,
When they came out with that movie in the 1980s, the guy who directed it, again, he had to take this massive book, complicated, intricate story, and to make the studio happy, cram it into a one-time 2-hour or less movie. And he did his best. It still was a flop because he didn't know the story. He came into it. When they brought him as director, he didn't know the story of Dune. So it was like that was the first mark against it. When they finished filming and they previewed the movie to test audiences, nobody understood what the movie was about. It made no sense. There were scenes and parts that were so confusing that the studio almost axed it then. So he went back and recorded whispered voices explaining things. So when you watch the movie in theaters, you watch the 1980s movie now, and you hear Paul Atreides, somebody whispering his thoughts to the audience, that was put in after they tested it because those whispered thoughts helped the audience go, oh, that's what they're doing here. Oh, that's why he did this. Because it was so mind-boggling. And if you didn't know the book Dune, if you hadn't read Dune and you didn't have those extra thoughts, that movie was complete gibberish.
Yeah. 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 I was still confused. I don't know, but I still liked it. I didn't mind it. I don't really. It was different. It really was different. So, but yeah, I can't wait for the new one. So I hope that it's a lot better than that one. Yes, I agree. So, yep. So next week, a reminder: everyone needs to be here for next week's show. Again, actor Jeremy Roberts is supposed to be gracing us Thursday on the screen here, and we're going to be interviewing him. Not only because he's been in Star Trek.
That's a vital importance to us, but
yes, I guess we can mention the other things that he was in as well, which everyone would probably know. And he is that type of actor where once you see him, you'll probably remember him and the scene that he was in. So, because it seems to be I've been looking up his, I've been YouTubing him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've been putting in the different movies or scenes or whatever. And of course, people have it. It's YouTube. They have everything. So, and it's like, oh my God, yeah, he was the cop, or yeah, he was, such the bar or person or whatever. But Star Trek, yeah, I mean, he was in Voyager, an episode of Voyager. Flashback, that was the name of the episode of Voyager. But he was also in The Undiscovered Country, right?
Same character, yeah.
Yeah, same character. So they brought him back for Voyager, but The Undiscovered Country, I think it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that movie. I haven't seen that movie in forever. I should watch that tonight. But yeah, he's in it, and I can't wait to talk to him. He does have I believe it's a fan page. Is it a fan page? Yeah. He's got a fan page on Facebook. We are part of it. I will make sure to share it. He's very active. Mm-hmm. So he does respond to people. He does a lot of posting, I've noticed. So, yeah. So that's going to be I can't wait. I just can't wait. John Clark, I look forward to it. He's a great actor. He is. He's been in a lot of things. I do have to ask him about Murder, She Wrote, though. That one stands out to me. Only because I love that show, too.
When you watch Murder, She Wrote, there's so many actors and actresses that show up. Just the other night, I was watching an episode, and John Delancey plays on it.
Yeah.
A year before he started on Star Trek, I was like, oh my God, there's John Delancey. Plays some rich snob who ends up murdering somebody. But then again, it's Murder, She Wrote, so it's your guest actor. You're either going to die or you killed somebody.
Yeah. They do it all the time. I mean, just like, the Twilight Zone. Mm-hmm. All those actors and stuff that, we now know were on these little TV shows, So, maybe it helps you get into movies. I don't know. But it keeps you working.
Oh, yeah.
Work. So, yeah. So, yeah, John, I do look forward to him coming on as well. So, but I'm going to have fun with The Undiscovered Country because I'm pretty sure he's got some stories, facts, things that happened, or, the people he spoke to those people that are, were in that scene. So, yeah, it's going to be really good and exciting. So hopefully nothing happens next week.
I'll say it's not. We're going to be hopeful and positive. It's going to be
He
good.
is coming on. He's coming on, folks. So yeah, my Aunt Valerie loves that show too. Murder She Wrote, and so does Diane Pate. I love Murder She Wrote. I watch it all the time on Cozy TV.
I watch it on Amazon Prime. They have the series on there. Well, no,
Yeah.
Internet Movie Database. If I'll give you a little plug here, but that's because it's free. If you have IMDb, if you have a smart TV, PlayStation, anything that can download the app, you can get Internet Movie Database. It's free, and they have loads of TV shows and movies on there that are free to watch. From I watched I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched. Let's see here, they had Dick Van Dyke Show. They've had Murder She Wrote. They're all free because they do have commercials in them, but their commercial breaks are a lot shorter and a lot fewer than television. It's clear because it's high definition. It isn't coming through even digital cable. All that broadcast stuff is not your max. It's not the best you can view it through, but this is the better, and you can watch them in sequence and watch them when you want to. So I love IMDb because I can get on there. I love classic television. They got loads of it on there you can watch, and it's free.
Nice. Absolutely. Awesome. I've never heard of it. I did not know that. Maybe you'll post something.
Well, Internet Movie Database or IMDb, which I know you know about that. That's where you
Yes.
look up actors and all. Just look them up online. Look it up if you have a smart TV or I use my PlayStation system. Just look up like apps that are available, and it's right there. Just look, television apps, IMDb TV, and you can download that, and it's free.
Awesome. I'll have to check it out. Like I don't already have enough streaming apps. Ugh. We have them all. I know it's crazy.
This
They
one
just
doesn't bill you, so
What's that?
this one doesn't bill you because it's free. So
Yeah,
that's the good thing, people.
that is the good thing. Yes. So before we wrap up, it's almost that time because it flies by. It really does. If anyone has any questions for Dan or I, now's the chance to throw them out there. So
Yeah, I got to keep plugging that Kickstarter because it starts tomorrow. Tomorrow is when it's launching, and I'm going to be promoting that thing like a carnival barker because you got to raise money and you got to get people to notice it. So my big request, of course, is if anybody wants to financially support it, please. However, if you can't or don't wish to financially support it, the best you can do outside of that is share it. Let people know about it.
yeah, make sure you tag the show page or whatever, myself, and yeah, absolutely. So that way people can check it out. I will make sure to share it as well, and we'll keep it going here. So yeah, time flies when you're having fun, Diane. It does indeed. That is true. Let's see. Awesome. I want to see what every tier is.
I'm not going to list it all here because we got a load of them. But as I talked about this early on, that for the tiers in this, you start with the thank you for donating tier, which is like $1, $5, something like that. And then we have, it goes up from there where if you donate so much, you get free copies of the comics when they come out. Past that, you get free copies of comics and books signed by us, the authors. Past that, you get copies of the comics books and like picture prints of our characters and stories that are also signed. It goes up. We're going to be doing a Q&A session that's going to be live after this is over. People who donate certain amounts will be able to be part of that, ask about making comics, about this. And in fact, in that Q&A, you can come in, and if you have comic ideas, if you're wanting to get involved in making comics, then that's time to get in and say, hey, I have an idea, because we're the publisher. So if you're interested, this is a great time to talk to us. And then we're actually going to have toys made of our characters, Bark and Frost. They're going to be as character toys, figures. And so there's going to be higher level ones. You're going to get all the loot of books and comic books and pictures and Q&A time, plus toys. And the biggies, the big expensive backers, can get, they're going to get a chance to be a cameo in the comic. They'll get to name a character, help design what the character is going to look like, and then they can be put in as a cameo into the comic. You get to pick one of our comics we're doing as the Kickstarter, because we have 4 comics that are actually the Kickstarter that we're doing. And the biggest one, which I think this is really great, it's expensive, but it's really great, is you get all the above. You get to name a character, get a cameo in one of the comics, plus we will have a toy made based on the character that you have created. So for my friends like John Clark for Heroes Rising and all, if you have a hero that you've written about before and you want to see them in actual print and publication, this is your chance. And even better, if you want to actually have a toy of that character, you can do that. But as I said, that's the high level tier there. That's expensive. So just when it launches tomorrow, you're going to see it all. And we worked hard on it, and we definitely want to see feedback. We want to see people doing this. I can say I wrote my comic back in February was when I wrote it, and we've been working ever since then, every week, having meetings and getting stuff ready for this. So we are on our way.
Well, I'll check it out as soon as you post it. I'll make sure to share it. God, that coffee's hot. Ooh.
That's why I drink my water from my old SpongeBob cup.
I'm using a new tumbler, and I brewed coffee. Technically, I brewed this at 7:30. This is very hot.
What brand is that?
What?
The tumbler, the coffee cup.
Well, it says Staples on it.
Okay.
Because I work for Staples. And it does say 8 hours of hot, 24 hours cold. And this is by Tervis.
Yep.
Tervis, yeah.
There's two brands I always go with when it comes to hot or cold cups that I want to last forever. Tervis is one of the big ones because they do a great job. But there's one that we've discovered that is phenomenal. It's literally called Bubba, Bubba, and they make all kinds from coolers and all that. But we got a cup about this size. It was a Bubba cup, and my mother got it, and she was like, "Oh, it's interesting." She put the hot coffee in it. Like 9 hours later, it was still hot.
Yeah.
Freaking hot. I was like, this is ridiculous. That's great. But if you're like on a long car ride and you want to have your hot coffee, that's great. Me, I like my coffee a little cooler.
Yeah, I'm definitely. This is the first time I'm using it. Actually, no, that's a lie. I used this the other day, but the other day that had a frozen alcoholic concoction in it. No, I was not at work while drinking it. This was while I was still on vacation. But anyways, yeah, I had a Bahama Mama is what I had. So yeah, it was pretty good. So it's one of those pouches where you can rip it. It's frozen, comes slushy. Mm-hmm. You can either eat it out of the bag or you pour it into a glass. And it got to the point where I couldn't I wanted to keep sliding down and it was a mess. So I put it in this cup. But anyways, yeah. So, my sister's leaving. Good night. Goodbye. Whatever. So I hope my sister's having fun in California.
I was going to tell Heather, a reminder that she's also in the Earth's Last Starship book, and she's in book 2.
Oh, unfortunately, she didn't die in the first book.
Wait a minute. Unfortunately.
My sister makes it. Everyone's leaving. It's not 9 o'clock, people. We have 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Where are y'all going?
No, we didn't have our guests, so they got bored.
That's true. Yeah. I won't keep people as long. We don't have to. So, that's the good thing about this show. We can do whatever we want. So, yeah.
I too have to leave pretty quick after the show because I got to go literally out somewhere. So, I won't be staying long.
Nope.
But next week we have Jeremy Roberts. I hope to have a 2-hour show.
That's the good thing. We can go as long as we want. So who knows? Yeah. Oh, saying goodnight to Heather. Oh, yeah. Sure. But yeah. Well, everyone, it's been fantastic. So I guess I'll say goodbye. John says you can always put me in Heroes Rising, Dan. I wouldn't get mad.
I tried to get a lot of people in there. I'd have to remember which character is yours. I hate to say that for people I know because you think I know all your characters, but good lord, I go through so many characters when I'm reading people's stuff and trying to get it straight. And that's one of the benefits for people who are interested in Heroes Rising, is that for the main story, we try to get some of the players who are very active to get their characters they've created into the game. And only on one occasion, and he knows who he is, has a character been named in such a way, and this character is designed in such a way, I could not put them in the story to keep the game PG-13 or cleaner. So I try to be that logical, but I'll try to. I have to say that's one of the things we discussed in length when doing the cameo. Was we were like, we want to do this. However, we're going to have a sit down meeting with the person who pays that higher price because it's limited. There's only going to be so many people allowed to invest in that level because you don't need to have 500 people trying to put a cameo in the story. There's just not enough room. And so, but we're going to sit down and we're going to discuss and develop their character. And for the most part, I expect people, if they're that interested, are going to come up with somebody, a good sounding name, simple character, something we can work with. But I do not want to just open the door and say, whatever you name them, whatever they are, we'll put them there. Because we're going to get a Captain Dildo. I just know it. And I'm not putting that in my comic book.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be too fun.
Not when you're trying to keep it at a certain age range. You don't need sensors on your neck. Comic books are actually regulated more about content than books because they're marketed. Their target market are young kids.
Right.
So you have to be, you have people on your neck. We don't want this in there. We don't want that in there. We got to do this. We can't do that. And so we want to make sure we don't tick anybody off. We're trying to start a company, not get ourselves crashing in the dirt.
Absolutely.
So, yep, people are leaving.
Well, I guess it's that time. So we're going to actually end this earlier than expected, which is a good thing because you know me, I like to run over sometimes. But we will see everyone next week. Don't forget to have a fun and safe weekend. And we will see everyone Thursday with actor Jeremy Roberts.
Yep.
And again, don't forget to like and share this video. Share it with everyone. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I got to say.
So thank you everybody for being here tonight. Tomorrow night, I hopefully will be live on my own little program. Anybody wants to join in, they can come. I'll be reading another chapter in my Joshua of Egypt story, answering questions about stuff, and of course, talking up the new Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for being here. I hope everybody has a wonderful night.
Bye.